we're going to take in the fall a deep dive into short fiction, really breaking down how to read short stories, how to read shorter pieces of prose, which corresponds to the second free response question on the AP exam. We'll also spend some time talking about the books that you're reading in your classes. The nice thing about being remote is that we are all in different classes maybe, or all doing our own reading on our own time. And there's going to be a wealth of information about the various texts that are AP Lit, merit AP consideration. So we'll also be talking about free response question 3 in the fall. And then in the spring, if you stick with us, we're going to take a deep dive into poetry, which I know some people profess not to like, but I feel like—
Now, how does one turn up the audio while in Zoom?
So typically when you're turning the audio up in Zoom, you might just need to change the—
How does one turn up the audio when in Zoom?
So in addition—
my question, Maggie, you're good. I'll chat.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Caroline. Sorry. So in addition
to turn up the audio when in Zoom, okay? I'm not gonna ask.
Okay. So in addition to the deep dive into short fiction and poetry in the fall and the spring, I'm also going to give you some exposure to the frequent flyer texts, things that seem to appear pretty regularly on the AP Lit exam. You won't have to go searching for all those resources yourself. Fiveable has already done that for you, and I can kind of walk you through what you'll need to be reading in order to find the most success on the AP exam in the spring. I'm also going to stream once a week, so you'll be live with me, which will be totally great. And then the AP readers and the TAs will be able to give you more personalized support and targeted feedback on the assignments that we create for you. So you really do get that community learning experience that I was talking about before. So you get the stream, you get the resources, you get the assessments and the feedback and the learning community. I'm also going to curate reading lists for you. So based on the reading you're doing on your own or in your classes at home, you can kind of shoot me, hey, I'm reading Beloved, right? I'm really struggling with Beloved. And then we might do a little class read of Beloved. I might throw some resources your way and kind of point you in the right direction with those more complicated, longer texts. And if nothing else, here for moral support, right? I'm on your team and I'm here to support you in your success. This is what a week might look like with me. So on a Monday, we'll go through an AP reading list kind of on our own, evaluating it, seeing where are the gaps in the reading that you've done on your own or in your classes to this point in high school. You can also get a course overview and get a better sense of what the AP exam has in store for you. Often I'll be directing you to read short stories that are available online in the fall. So all of the resources, so like if we're talking about diction and syntax and tone, I'll give you some resources to kind of explore those concepts before we meet together for the live stream later in the week. And you can apply all of those concepts to a particular text. So not only are you getting ready for the AP exam content-wise, you're also getting to apply those skills, which is really, really important and helpful just in class in general and with the AP exam. So this is what a week might look like. There will also be discussion posts and activities and projects and things assigned throughout the fall. My best advice to you, especially if you take this course, but even if you don't, is to read as much as possible. Reading widely and thinking deeply about your reading is the absolute best way to find success in any AP Lit course. I also think it's a good idea to find some people that you can talk to. If only there was an online learning community curated just for you. Oh wait, that's Fiveable. It's also important to remember that learning involves being challenged. So that doesn't just mean being challenged by the content or being challenged by the things that your teachers are asking you to do. It also means challenging yourself to create the time and the space for your own learning. And working with Fiveable to kind of provide that space for you is kind of an incredible opportunity. You will get a lot out of this if you are able to put in the time and the effort. I have some friends who are really obsessed with basketball. That's not me. I wish it were me, and I'm working on my basketball skills and my terminology. But my friends who love basketball often refer to LeBron James. And they talk to me about his work ethic and how hard he trains to be the absolute best that he can be. And he never really thinks that he's had enough practice. So if you're here and you're not already enrolled in the AP Lit course, or if you have friends who aren't already enrolled in the AP Lit course, and you think, even just for a second that you need a little more practice, you probably do. And I can give you that practice. So now's a great time for questions, and I'm also happy to turn it over to Caroline in case there's anything in the chat that I don't see.
Does anyone have any questions for Maggie? It's been pretty quiet in the chat. I can give you just like some details in case you're wondering. So it is a 15-week course that starts on September 8th. So you will have content every week for those 15 weeks between September 8th and December 18th. It is $55 for a course, but if you were here with us in the beginning, Amanda shared that code, OH10, which looks kind of like Ohio, but it's for Open House 10 because you're getting $10 off. So it would be $45 to enroll in this course with Maggie and get all of this support, which is the best deal going. Maggie, it looks like Sophia asks if you have any tips for the AP exam, maybe just some brief strategies that you tell your students.
Sure. So one of the things that I encourage my students to do is develop a personal system of annotation. On the exam, you're going to face a lot of different passages, whether we're talking about multiple choice or free response. And having a shorthand for analyzing a text, marking it up, and then being able to refer back to it quickly is one of the best tools you can have in your tool belt when it comes to sitting for the exam. That and reading as much as you can. I cannot stress how important it is to read.
Yeah, no Sparks notes. Spark notes. Sparks notes?
Just Spark.
Spark notes. This is coming, I'm a science brain. It's like what I do, but AP Lit was legitimately my favorite class in high school, and I was not a reader until I took it. So it's so worth your time. And I think getting extra support and being able to talk about those books with others outside of just your class and with a teacher outside of your, instructor is super, super valuable. Let's see, any other questions? Would you suggest signing up for the fall course or the spring course? Great question, Sabrina.
Oh my gosh, I would say both, but if you're choosing just one, I would focus on where your areas of greatest growth are, right? So where are your growth opportunities? If you feel really strong with prose, right, which is kind of what I'm covering in the fall with short fiction, I would recommend signing up for the spring. If you really feel that you are strong in poetry and you need to work on prose, maybe you're a student who doesn't love reading in their spare time, or you're a student who just hasn't created time for that reading, working through those prose passages on the exam can be pretty challenging if you don't have the practice. So if poetry is your strong suit, I would definitely sign up for the fall to get that practice with the prose.
Awesome. And then Varsha asks, are there a list of books, plays, and poems that you recommend or that College Board recommends?
Yes, there are. And we actually have a number of curated resources for you in the Fiveable library. So we have all of those lists ready to go. The list is a little longer than I think is worth sharing in this exact moment in time, but believe it or not, those lists are in the very first week of course content for AP Lit in the fall. So you can find out more then.
Awesome. Any other questions? And Nisha, they will be for the majority the same, but there may be some slight differences between each semester, just depending. Yep.
Yeah, just to clarify, all of the courses are totally skills-based, but I'm going to be leaning a little bit more into prose in the fall for the example texts and a little bit more into poetry for the example texts in the spring. So we're focusing on the same skills, same conceptual content. We're just going to focus our examples a little bit more to one genre or the other in the fall and the spring.
Awesome. Any other questions we can answer for you guys?
Do you mind if I ask mine out loud?
Sure.
What is the time constraint of it? Just because I know some of us are also taking a few other courses, and like how much time per week do you think would be put into it?
That's a great question. Thank you so much. I would say on average, I would ask that you're devoting maybe an hour to 2 of like really focused attention every week if you want to take advantage of every single resource, do every single reading, participate in every single discussion board. It's supposed to be manageable for you. And this is not supposed to replace being in like the classroom. But that being said, it can kind of function as a stopgap for you. So I would recommend planning for an hour if you're really trying to get the most out of the course, an hour to 2. Kind of depends on how far you'd like to take it.
Yeah, I think that's a really great answer. So Maggie will provide enough materials that you could probably spend 10 hours a week going through stuff. But in order to make it more manageable, you could easily spend 1 to 2 hours a week and still get a ton out of the course. So it kind of just depends on what you're looking for as far as supports. And then Tanvi asked, you have a year-long class. That does not change anything. You'll just get a condensed version of these skills. So you'll just be ahead of the game, but the whole course will run in 15 weeks. Yep, and it looks like Kate answered Varsha's question. Any other questions we can answer for you guys? Got a great crew tonight. Will there be a certificate of completion? Yes, Nisha, there will be a certificate of completion when you are done. Great question. Well, I'm going to drop my email in the chat. It's just caroline@fiveable.me, so it's super easy to remember. And as you guys are thinking and deliberating over courses, definitely shoot me an email if you have a question, and I'm sure I can forward that to Maggie as well. At the same time, we will probably be closing our registration at the end of this week. So now is the time. You have your $10 off. If you haven't enrolled yet, please do. Remember, it's OH10 to get that $10 off, and you can share that with your friends as well. And whoever just asked if the course structure was already covered, it was, but the great news is this was recorded and we can post that recording for you. Maggie, anything else that I didn't add that you have to add?
Just that I'm really excited to teach. I'm really excited to hang out with everybody who's eager to learn more about AP Lit and kind of practice those skills. I love talking about reading, and I'm so excited to have more people to do that with. So
awesome. Well, right back at you. I feel like I have to join this course because big fan of AP Lit. But we're really thankful that you guys joined us tonight. Thank you for spending some of your Monday with us. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We are here for you. And Tanvi, the recording will be posted on the AP Lit page, and we will send that out probably in an email as well. So stay tuned, but it will be on the Fiveable website. And we cannot wait to get to know you guys more as the year progresses. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening and email us with any questions. Bye, guys.